Solving a system of linear equations using the graphing calculator can be tricky, but let's use this system to go through the buttons and try to follow along with your graphing calculator. So the system is y equals negative 2x plus 4 and x minus 2y equals 12. In order to enter the equations into your graphing calculator, both equations need to be in slope-intercept form. So that's our y equals mx plus b. Our first equation is already in that form, but our second equation is in standard form. We need to start by solving our second equation for y to move it into slope-intercept form. So we'll take our second equation and we'll subtract x from both sides, and we'll divide by negative 2 everything to get y equals 1/2 x minus 6. So now it's in slope-intercept form. So now that it's changed into slope-intercept form, we can graph them using the graphing calculator. You want to start by hitting the y equals button. That's located in the upper left corner here, right above your second button, up at the top. So now you want to enter each equation into the calculator. So the first one you'll type negative. The negative sign is on the bottom to the left of the enter key. X. X appears here. It is directly above the mode button. It says like xt theta n. So we want the x. So you'll do negative 2x plus 4. Now for the second equation, you have to enter a fraction. So when entering fractions, it's wise to place them in parentheses. Here, the parentheses are above your 8 and 9. So you'll put parentheses 1 divided. The division key gives you your fraction. So parentheses 1 divided by 2, parenthesis, x. Now minus, make sure you now click the minus button, not the negative, minus 6. When you finish entering each equation into the calculator, then we press enter. Notice this is your screen when you have the two equations in your graphing calculator. That's what it should read. So when both equations are entered, you press graph. Graph is all the way at the top right corner above the arrows. So your graph should look like this on your screen. Make sure that you check it. And if everything's typed in correctly, this is what it will look like. Now looking at the graph, we can see that our equations intersect in the fourth quadrant. If we go back, this is the fourth quadrant. This is the point of intersection. It's not automatically labeled on the calculator. So to determine the exact point of intersection, you want to press the second button and then trace. Trace is right next to graph. You will see the calc option, which is in the same color as the second button. It's the calculate menu, so you could calculate a bunch of different things with this graph that we've made. Since we're trying to find the point of intersection, we're going to choose the fifth option, intersect. So you can either hit the 5 button or you can scroll down to 5 and hit enter. Both will work. Now on your screen, you should be back to your graph, and first it's asking you which equation is the first curve. So you can just press enter when this appears. Then the screen will show up again, and it will ask you which equation is the second curve. So you can press enter again. And finally, this screen will show up asking you to guess where you think the point occurs. So you want to use your left and right arrows to move your cursor to the approximate point of intersection. So you want to make sure it's approximately on top here and press enter. So the calculator then reads on the bottom intersection, and it gives us an x equals and a y equals. So it says x equals 4 and y equals 4. So that makes our point of intersection 4, negative 4, and the solution to our system. Now, once we're finished, now that we have our solution, the final step is to remove our original equations because we want to get our calculator ready for the next problem. So in order to do that, you would return to your y equals button all the way at the top left. And clear, the clear button is underneath the arrows. your original equation. So you would clear, then you would move up to the second equation and hit clear, and then you're ready for your next problem. This works for nonlinear systems as well. So the only thing you have to note, and the only difference really for nonlinear, is that you have to use the caret top key. That's this. It looks like a little right or a little up arrow, and it's right above the division key. So you would want to type in x caret top 2 to get your x squared, and that's what this little piece here is in the equation. So that will get you to get an exponent, and you can have any exponent you want. So then, to solve the system, you would have this is on your screen after typing in your equations and pressing graph. And you use the same sequence of commands from the last example. Your second trace second trace 5 from the calc menu. And you have to use your enter, and guess to get your point of intersection. Try it on your own. And once you try, you should get that the point of intersection is 3, -8. So now you can use your graphing calculator to solve any system you want, as long as you put both equations, have the y by itself or in slope-intercept form if they're linear. It's a easy way to check work if you're doing it by hand, or if by hand is too difficult, or this is at least faster and a little bit more accurate to work with.